The last handful of days, I've actually, as like one of my guilty pleasure relaxation games, I've been playing a tidbit of Black Flag. Sorry, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. And I've been replaying some of it, and I wanted to get reacclimated to it because it's been a minute since I played through it from start to finish again. And I was like, I want to see what this is like, because the remake is coming at some point this year, probably. And they are rumored to be changing all sorts of stuff. So like it's expected that they're going to be changing some of the map. They're going to be changing inventory systems. They're going to be changing a lot of this stuff, like the combat potentially as well. And I wanted to replay the OG to see how it feels. And I plan on doing like a full video on the big channel about this. So, you know, this is early stages, but I've been replaying it, and I wanted to see like how much of it is rose tinted glasses, remembering it more fondly than maybe it actually deserves, and how much of it like could actually benefit from reinvention, from overhauls and stuff like that. And for this, I want to know in chat how you guys feel, because there's kind of a few key points to this. Number one, they're expected to change, like I said, the inventory system. That includes with it things like weapons, how you customize your ship and things like that. So it won't be one-to-one. Now, having replayed the game recently, I will say, dude, the equipment systems in these older Assassin's Creed games are straight up donkey ass. They're really bad, okay? It's really bad. It's like your weapons, your swords have like a damage number, a speed number, and then like a combo number, and they go up to, I think, 5 is the max, and then they're all slightly different variations. There's a bajillion different weapons that are all slightly tweaked and look slightly different. Most of them are Ubisoft Club rewards for having your Ubisoft account connected. So like if you played AC Origins, they brought a Bayek skin and some of the weapons over to Black Flag and stuff like that. It's really disjointed and weird and just flooded with all sorts of unintuitive things. Beyond that, there's other things like these older school games. They wanted you to explore the environment, to loot chests, to loot bodies. And so they had inventory tied to pretty much everything, whether it's poison darts, berserker darts, which I guess are the same thing, the sleep darts, the like different types of ammunition for the mortar, like everything. And it just like, it started fine back then, but dude, nowadays I think it would be considered such busy work and tedium, it would drive people crazy. There are some of these bespoke sequences like this with the diving bell that are fun, and I'm excited to see how they handle these again. But even these sections, like you can see in the bottom left, it's like these little barrels that you go in to get refilled with oxygen. And then there's like 7 chests. And that is the location. That is what you do. Like you go, you swim down, you open the chest, you go to a barrel, get more air. Then you go to the next chest, you open it up, and then you go to the next place. And then you get attacked by an eel. It's very, very straightforward. And one of the things that's expected is that they're actually going to be overhauling some of these elements as well. So like the map is expected to change. They want it to be more interesting to explore while you're going out and about. I don't know if that just means like they're adding combat challenges, or if they're going to just add different types of chests, and maybe they're going to add unique weapons in the chests that encourage you to explore to find those things. Because personally, I greatly prefer when I go and explore a location in a game to find like a unique item or weapon that I'll actually use, as opposed to like, oh, you found some currency and some crafting components. That drives me crazy. It's one thing that Crimson Desert does really, really well, is you'll explore this massive open world, and then you'll find like a really, really crazy weapon in some cavern of some temple in the middle of the snowy mountains. And it's like such a unique thing that you're like telling your friends about it. That's what I connect with way more than like just casually finding, some more crafting components. But that's just me. So I think that there's plenty of room for them to overhaul that. The other thing I will say, dude, I'm gonna be real. I had forgotten how much the game relies on trailing missions. It's easy to forget because trailing missions were like abandoned largely after this game and AC Unity. Syndicate still had a few, but circa 2014 is when the narrative shifted and people started hating trailing missions. But dude, they are all over the place in the game. And basically the idea is that they want you to explore the city. I mean, basically they wanted you to explore an environment while following characters. So you could see, you get narrative exposition, and you also are parkouring up and around buildings while following them. So it's like an added challenge while you're getting narrative exposition. So it made sense at the time, but dude, it feels like a solid 20% of the missions in this game are follow this guy, but not too close. And then you also need to see him. Otherwise, a 20-second countdown will start. And if you don't see him within 20 seconds, you fail the mission. And so while you're like juggling that, you also are like constantly checking on the timer and making sure you can have line of sight to this guy. It's just like things like that, where it's very, very antiquated. And that's why I think it's going to be fascinating to see what they've changed and how, because I can see both sides of it, right? This is a remake, remaster, whatever they want to call it. They're calling it resynced, so who knows what it actually is purely, but they are changing things about this game. They're trying to give it new life in the modern era. But dude, so many aspects of Black Flag are unapologetically 2013. It is unapologetic in how 360 era it is, with like every aspect of it. It is such a pure Ubisoft game from that era that to do a one-to-one remake and leave in like all the trailing missions, leave in the tedium and the collectathon stuff, all the sea shanties that are scattered everywhere, and the animus fragments that are scattered everywhere, leaving all that in could be legitimately kind of a fun blast from the past. But they might also try to overhaul it and make it more modern, for lack of a better term, and meet players' expectations a little more directly with what they've come to know and love from modern open world games. It's going to be fascinating because I think a lot of people played this game back in the day, loved it back in the day, and I don't know how many people have gone back to it in the years since, because it is very, very antiquated. I still love it, but when I really try to look at it through the lens of somebody that has not played it in 10 years, I'm like, oh, it changes the dynamic, because there's a lot of aspects of it that are just very, 360, it's very 360. So it's going to be fascinating to see what they change and how they do it. As for combat, I'm also going to be real. I know a lot of people got triggered when news broke that they were considering changing the combat system, maybe to be a mixture of like Mirage meets Shadows or something. I'm gonna be real. I think that might be the right call, dude. The combat in these games, it was changed because people hated it. Like, people forget, but they're like, oh no, they should have kept the rock, paper, scissors combat. They should have kept the mash X and then occasional Y or B parry. Like, but I'm gonna be real, dude. They changed it because people hated it. It wasn't just because people were like, they wanted to change stuff for the sake of changing it. The feedback was overwhelming that people didn't like it. And going back to it, I like the flares, but dude, after playing for an hour, you're like, bro, mash, 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 B, mash, 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 B, mash, 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 A to break him, and then mash, mash. It kills it. And again, paired with the inventory system, which is effectively like, oh, your weapons, they have, this sword has 4 speed, and this one has 3 damage. What does that mean? I don't really know, but I think it's better. Like, I think it just, again, is a pure product of its time. So I'm much more open-minded about a lot of these changes after going back and playing through it over the last handful of days, and getting reacclimated with some of those changes. What I will say has aged even better than anything, though, is the narrative. The voice acting is top notch. Like, the vibes are immaculate, and that's going to be the big thing to preserve. I'm gonna be real. The one thing they could do that would pretty much instantaneously kill this for me is if they change the cutscenes and change them into like the static dynamic ones that they have in AC Shadows. If that's what they're doing, I'm gonna be upset. But if they can keep the motion capture, or if they redid the motion capture, then we're talking. But I swear to Yves Guillemot, if they redid all of the scenes and now Edward, instead of a carefully blocked sequence with full motion capture and everything, if it changes to this and he's just, I need to go and I need to find Blackbeard, and then I'm going to go do this. And I don't remember any specific scene, but you get the point. I would crash out. Exactly. And make the VA do new lame dialogue. If they rewrite scenes, that would be insane. That would be crazy, because especially people love the narrative and love the writing. Like, I'd be baffled if they did that. But I'm really, really hoping that they retain that. And that just comes down to like one of those creative choices. It's something that was probably decided 4 or 5 years ago. Are we going to redo the motion capture? Are we going to preserve it and just, we going to redo VO? Do we need to do that? It's like, those are very, very early decisions that were made years ago. And I just hope they made the right ones. Because if you don't know, the guy that's now in charge of it is Jean Guidon. And Jean he was the creative director of Black Flag. So he was like the guy that helped make this game what it was. So he's now in charge. But let's be perfectly honest. He started that job at the beginning of this year. I think February is when he started. He can't change it. Like if they, let's say hypothetically, if they chose to redo all of this stuff and it's all static and whatever, if they chose to do it that way, it's too late for him to change it. And I'm sure he's not happy about it either, but it's too late. Now, hopefully they didn't change it and he's like all on board with it and it looks great. We just don't know. But I think that this could be for Ubisoft such a slam dunk if they do it the right way and present it the right way. It's just going to be fascinating to see, because this is the first time in a good long while where Ubisoft has a game pretty much everyone I can tell really wants to be good. You know, like everybody is like, please don't screw this up. Please don't screw this up. Dude, a next generation Black Flag with like current generation fidelity would be phenomenal. It would be phenomenal and it would be so awesome. It's just going to be a matter of like whether they can execute on it properly. And I'm hoping they do. But man, it's going to be fascinating to see how this goes. I'm so into it though. I really, really hope they really hope they don't screw it up. I really hope. But dude, if they can get like AC Shadow's level of graphical fidelity, but in Black Flag, dude, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It would be beautiful. I'd be so there for it. But I just hope they aren't relying on the systems and the dynamic stuff that they built over the last handful of years. I really hope they don't just do that. But we'll see. We'll see. Also, shout out our State of Assassin's Creed video from 4 days ago. Just we've now surpassed $4,400 raised for the NCMEC. Thank you guys for that. Appreciate you. That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. So shout out to that. But we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on it. I cannot wait. And I hope we find out soon. Something. Anything, please. But we'll see. But how do you guys, honest question, what is for you the deal breaker? Like if they change something, what would be the one thing that you're like, I can't do this, man. For me, it's the cutscenes. If they change the cutscenes, I think I'm going to be a sad boy. I'm open to the combat changes. I'm open to the open world changes because they're apparently going seamless where you can travel from city straight to the sea and you don't need a load screen between them. They're going to be redesigning some of the city's actual layouts to make them more interesting and less samey. Things like that could be really cool. Monetization, that's a good one. Like if they end up just building out a bunch of skins to sell you, that would suck. I agree. That could be interesting. Water, fair. Make Edward modern. Dude, imagine if he shows up in the trailer. They do the announcement trailer and he's got the John Highguard haircut. Like imagine it's Black Flag and he's got this shaved side of his head. It's like, oh, what did they do to my boy? What did they do? Don't make that mistake, Ubisoft. If you do the John Highguard haircut, I'm also going to crash out. Keep it the same. Let's not mess with it, okay? You don't have to do that. Mandatory multiplayer. Well, people forget this era of Assassin's Creed had multiplayer across the board. Like Black Flag, AC3, Unity, like all those games had multiplayer. I don't recall if Rogue did. I don't recall. But like all of those games from that era had multiplayer. It was baller, but it was included in the game as just another mode for you to play. You know, it was very interesting. Rogue did. It did. Okay. I was like, because I can picture the menus of the other games, but for Rogue, I'm like, it's been too long. Rogue was underrated. Yeah, well, it was basically a game. If anybody's like, what the hell is AC Rogue? AC Rogue, just to wrap this up, AC Rogue is a really, really cool game, but it was made circa like 2014. Yeah, 2014 for the 360 and PS3, and it was effectively launched in 2014 as Ubisoft's attempt to bridge the generation. So they had the PS4 launching and AC Unity was supposed to be the true next gen game to showcase for next gen buyers what they were capable of. But then they needed a game to sell to people on the 360 and PS3. That's what Rogue was. So they wanted two games to be able to sell to both audiences, the next gen players and the previous gen players. So they made two distinct games, and it just ended up with Rogue being completely forgotten, which is too bad because it's legitimately, narratively, probably one of the best that they've ever done. It's really too bad. But yeah, Rogue doesn't get anywhere near enough love. I agree. Not even like a hot take. It's just like, yep. Totally. Yep. He took my thing.